Hey guys, Connor here with Chrome Designs. Thank you so much for watching this video. Wow, has it been a long time, no video. But anyway, let's get straight into it. I don't want to dally about in my inactivity or whatnot. Today we have an interesting Cinema 4D and After Effects tutorial. We're going to be incorporating the both, and we're going to be coming up with a kind of title banner introduction that looks something similar to this. I have incorporated this into a video animation. You could say it's an introduction or a promotional video, and it looks really nice. So I'm still in the process of this, but anyway, I thought I'd make this video first as a base layer for those people that just want to create something like this, and then maybe in the next week or so go I'm being optimistic saying next week, but in the next week or so, or a couple of weeks, incorporate into a video animation where you can create something really nice looking and everything moves, and it's generally more advanced. So I want to be able to appeal to as many more people as I can. And I uploaded this actual picture onto my official Facebook page, and it got quite a lot of feedback, positive feedback that is, and it's been over a month since that. I said I was going to be uploading it in the next few days. I should have done. My bad yet again, can't apologise enough. But you know, today is the day. Obviously, if you look at the time, well, you can't see the time, I'm going to cut it out, but it's 12:30 at night, so I'm a little bit tired, so I'm going to be going ahead, and I might jumble a few things up as well. As fact, as I said, it's been over a month since I've actually worked through this. I'm going in this dry, as you could say. So bear with me with a few mistakes I might make. I might take a few extra seconds to get my head around everything. So please bear with me. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump straight in. Obviously, we're going to start and create the 3D text in Cinema 4D. And this is the actual text that I had initially, which I was running up to creating this a while ago. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go File, New, and we're going to make a new composition. Simple as you like. First things first, I always like to edit my render settings. Just go to Render, Edit Render Settings, because when you change these and you make cameras, everything later on, it disproportionalizes everything. So the output, I'm going to make it 1080 by no, my bad, 1920 by 1080. What am I like? Didn't think I'd make a mistake that soon. But anyway, 1920, doesn't really matter about these because it's just a picture. Current frame, save as a PNG to the desktop. Yes. In fact, we'll just call it, as you can see, the AAA Tuts, which I created yesterday again. Just as a quick, I went over it very quickly and brief. I'm going to create it AAA and loads more A's just so it comes up at the first, so it'll save a bit of time. Make sure you click Alpha Channel as well on PNG so it saves with a transparent background. And we're going to come into this anti-aliasing later. I'll explain a bit more in depth later. We'll leave that there for now. So let's go ahead, zoom out, just go ahead and add in our text. MoGraph, MoText, still straightforward. And I'm going to add the same text. Watch this video tutorial. Okay, like so. Just go ahead and zoom out a tad. There we go. And obviously it's on the left. You want it to be like it is here on top of each other. Very straightforward. Go ahead and click middle, like so. Decrease the vertical spacing so it's almost touching. You want to create the illusion that it's on top of each other. However, when it actually does touch, it gets a bit messy and looks a bit unprofessional, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and add caps. We'll go fillet cap. Simple, just drop the 5 down to 3s, and there we go. Change the font. I'm going to change it to this font I have beginning with L. I'm not 100% on the name. There it is. Lubelin Graph LT. It will be in the description should you not need it. Change it from regular to bold, like so. And obviously there we go, we've got the general look going on. Obviously we need to alter the vertical spacing again because of the change of font. So just go ahead and increase it there. Well, decrease in fact, but you know what I mean. Like so. That looks good. Obviously increase the depth as well. I'm just going to go ahead and put 1000 in. There we go. Well, drag it up above the plane or the field to 100. Hold shift if you need to. Actually, it's 110. So 10 more. Is that right? I'm not sure. Anyway, that'll do. There we go. So go ahead, set up a camera now. click this little button here and we'll be looking it through the camera view. Set it up as you want the text to be portrayed and rendered out. So I'm just going to zoom out just a tad. In fact, I'm going to change the focal focal length to about 40, 45ish, somewhere in between there. And I'll just zoom out again. So I want this to try and be perfect, but I don't want to stand here for a while and bore you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, and that should do. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make a material for the time being. Just make the color white. I hate the fact that it goes to that little grey, something that really always annoys me. Reflection, color white again. Obviously texture for now, straightforward reflective texture. We're going to make this about 20%, and somewhere in between 20 and 30 I would recommend, and just go ahead and drag it on really. Final, render it out. There we go, got some nice text. Not noticed much difference. That's because it's reflecting off nothing, reflecting from pure blackness, so obviously reflection going to be minimal. So we're going to go ahead and go into the content browser and go into the presets, prime, materials and HDRI, and we're going to add in a default HDRI. If you have your own or something you recommend, obviously you can use that, but I'm going to use HDRI 10. Double click that and it will come in, and that's in there. But this needs to be applied to a sky, which we haven't yet created. So we'll create the sky and we'll add a compositing tag now, and we'll untick seen by camera. Just get rid of all the messiness. And so there you go, you can see that the image is actually just reflecting off the text. Quite a lot, to be fair, maybe more than I would have liked, but the lights we're going to go ahead and make now will more or less stop that down. So we'll go ahead and add the lights in now. Just add in a light. I always do that. I made the camera just to stop me going out of proportion so I can line everything up, and I always forget. Hide the light there so I can see. So I'm going to have to set it up again. Apologies. You could probably tell I'm quite rusty. There we go, that'll do. Now you can come out of here, and now we can make the lights. I'm going to go ahead and make this just in front and on top. This is going to be white. I'm going to leave it there. That should do. And I'm going to duplicate this. I'll make another copy. So it's going to go Command D or Control D. In fact, I'm not in After Effects yet, so Control C, Control V will copy it. And I'm just going to make this over here. Drag it down. Drag it down. I'm going to make this one slight orange tint, like so, ever so slight. And I'll make shadow map soft. So we'll look in here now. And there we go, you can kind of see some orange reflecting off, maybe not enough, so I'll make it a little bit more orangey, like so. That'll do. And I'm going to go into the other side. I'm going to Control C, Control V this light, just drag it over now, so in the same length and depth. And I'm going to make this one a slight blue. Just take a look. There we go. And in fact, I'm going to tone down these lights quite a bit because they're quite strong. They're making the actual text be more white as opposed to the reflection. So there we go. That's looking okay. The back, it kind of fades out a little bit. So I'm going to make it one more final light. The back end of the text. So I'm just going to make a new light for this. Drag it out here. Maybe not that far. Definitely not that far. And I'll just tone this down again to about 50% intensity. Go back in, and you should be able to see the text a lot clearer. Yes, you can. So that's looking okay. Not that great. You can mess about with the lights, but that's looking okay. One final thing, we'll probably add in ambient occlusion. We'll do this in the render settings. So edit, render settings, ambient occlusion, and I'll show you about the anti-aliasing in a sec. Increase the maximum ray length to about 150, 140, and just put the contrast up to about 16% or something. In fact, we'll make this best and 2x2 by 4x4, and we'll go ahead and quickly render this out. like so. And yeah, that's looking quite nice. Got a lot of the reflections coming on. You can now clearly see the distinctions between the different characters. So overall, I'm really liking this. I'm going to go ahead and render it out. My bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and click render there. It does take a few seconds with ambient occlusion, but I'm pretty sure all of you know all about that by now. In the meantime, while that's rendering, go into After Effects, have a look. In fact, I'll create a new composition while I'm here, might as well. I'm just going to call this live because I'm live recording. Like so, take off capitals, look. And you know, while I'm here, I might as well make a new background. Call it background, save a bit of time, make sure it's black, and obviously I want to make sure it's comp size, but it should be that anyway. In fact, why did I not make it black? Solid. Make sure it's black. Okay, you will kind of need a background in this just to edit with. And is it done yet? Nope, still doing it. When it is, we'll go ahead and import it in. Looks like it's more or less there. God, if I only chose words with less characters, would be done by now and would be in the tutorial. After Effects, but anyway. Okay, there we go. File, import, file, desktop, AA. There we go. This is going to be really confusing. Maybe too confusing that I liked, but yeah. Here we go ahead, we've got the text in there, so that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and make another solid now. And this is going to be a 4-color gradient, which I'm going to drag under the text. And I'm just going to go to Effect, Generate 4-color gradient as per. And I'm going to make this, I'm going for the kind of colors of a blue electric feel to a kind of neon purple pinky kind of feel. So they're kind of be the good colors I'm going to use. Top left, I'm going to use a kind of pink. Obviously it can't be bright, it can still be within the realms of darkness, if you will. This one's going to be more purpley, more deep purple anyway, like so. Bottom right, I'm just going to make black or a dark grey charcoal colour, and here's going to be more of the blue, like so. And you can lower this opacity down to about 70% to make it blend in a bit more. This top left one is a bit too light. You don't want to make it look tacky. Like so. And there we go. That's looking good. First things first as well, I'm going to make the reflective fill. So we're going to duplicate this text of watch this video tutorial and just switch these over. Make sure they match up with the lines of composition. That'll pretty much keep it within perspective. Very unprofessional way of flipping it, but it does the job. Like so. And there we go, down. So we're going to go ahead and make a mask now. Go to the rectangle tool. And just drag out the area of the text that you want to see. Obviously I'm going to go just under half, just under the edge of that half of the text. And hit feather. Click the F key on the keyboard and it'll bring up the feather options. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit less than that. About there will do. And feather that. Like so. And obviously decrease the opacity to about 10%. Add a fast blur on there now and you're pretty much good to go. So just go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, Fast Blur. You can add a Gaussian blur, but I mean that's about 10ish. Like so. So there we go, we've got the reflections going on, which is all good. I just want to see what I've done on this tutorial. We did actually make a, just got a text there, sorry. Tutorial. Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead and we're going to make a new solid. Again, I'm going to drag this under the text, but in between the two, under the text, sorry. I'm going to rename the top one. I'm going to rename this main text top. And why did it just reset? These things I'll never know. And bottom one, gonna recall just text reflection. Okay, where's that new solid that I just made? I just resetted all of the layer names. I'm not too sure how I've done that. If I'm honest, it'd be something actually I'd quite like to know. So if you know how to reset all the layer names in After Effects, that would be interesting, but comment it if you can, I'd like to know. So main text, text reflection, barely see, drag this, hide it actually for now. I'm going to go ahead and go to the pen tool, and we're just going to mark out an area like this. And this is just going to make the kind of shadows, and it's going to distinct it. Sorry, from the actual reflection. So fill it in now, and just go to a feather, increase the feather like so. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. And you can maybe just lower the opacity as well to about 50%, just to keep it darkness so it looks easier on the eye. And one final thing as well to go with this whole look of the shadows and reflections, I'm going to duplicate the main text top, and I'm going to go to Effect, Generate, Fill, and fill it in with a black, like so. And again, I'm going to go to the Marquee tool, and I'm just going to fill out the bottom of the text. I recommend the bottom half of the first layer. And again, just go to feather, and obviously standard procedure, increase the feather like so. And if you couldn't tell by now, lower the opacity if we haven't done it enough times yet, and it would just create a nice gradient on that text. Maybe a little bit less than that, about 50, like so. And you can just, it looks generally easier on the eye, more aesthetically pleasing. So going back now, what needs to be done? There's a lot more lights. Obviously, optical flares is needed, which makes this look a whole lot better. We've got particular going on. And we've got kind of grunge layer on the text as well, if you haven't quite noticed. But anyway, we'll pre-compose these layers now. So go from all these layers, leave the gradient in the background there, and we'll just layer, pre-compose, and call it text main, like so. Sorry, my mouth gets really dry when making tutorials. Maybe I just wasn't born to be a tutorial maker. But hey, I'll stick through it. So in this main text, I'm going to open up the composition again, and I go to project. I have a grunge texture in here, which is this. I simply googled grunge, went into the advanced search, made it large, bigger than the composition, and yeah, I've picked up this one. It can be anyone you want, doesn't really matter. This will be in the description should need be. So scale it down roughly just so it fits over the whole composition. And I'm just going to get a fit on screen just to make it come back. Fit up to 100%. There we go. One more. And we're good to go. So we'll hide this layer now, and we're just going to make this go over the text. Obviously you can do this in these modes, but it doesn't look that great and clear cut. So we're going to go ahead and go to the mask tool. And we're just going to mask around pretty much all the kind of text just to make sure we cover all of it. Any gaps will probably need to be filled. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be too close. However, I am a kind of perfectionist in some of these things, so I want it to be as clean and best looking as possible. If I was actually doing this for someone or actual kind of work, obviously it would be a lot more intricate in this, but hey ho. Down here. It'll be better should you cover all of the text and get access background, as opposed to cover the text and not get access background, if that makes sense. So you basically just want to make sure all of the text is covered. And we'll fill this in now. Go to the feather, increase the feather just a bit, and obviously the opacity, we're talking about 5–10ish%, maybe 15, probably 15 in fact. Go back over to the live, just so you can notice it. In fact, we'll change the blend mode to overlay, make it look more incorporated, like so. That looks nice. There we go, that's looking a lot better. We'll go ahead and make a border now. So make a new solid, going to be black, and I'm going to call this border, and this is going to be at the top at all times. Go to the rounded ellipse tool, double click. What's it doing? Double click here, my bad again. Inverted, and again increase the feather, like so. And obviously the opacity down to about 50%. Maybe a bit more, 35% will do it. And that creates a more distinct look. We'll go ahead and add in File, New Solid. And we're going to go ahead and add optical flares now. So just go to Effect, Video Copilot, Optical Flares. And Options. And I'm not sure exactly which flare to use. So I'm going to go ahead and run down them all. And see which one picks my fancy more or less. Beam will do, but I need to edit a couple of these things, so I don't like a lot of these rings around. I think they look kind of tacky, but what's this glow? Finding the exact one which it is always the hardest thing. Ring, there we go. Delete. Okay. And obviously it's on the black text because we've made a black layer, so we need to go to screen to get rid of the black. And there we go. Making something like that looks quite nice. I'm going to rename this flares while we're at it as well. Flare 1. And I'm going to go ahead and make another flare as well. So make a new solid, call this flare 2. Same procedure, Video Copilot, Optical Flares. Options, and I'm going to go to natural flares, and if I remember correctly there was a pink one that looked quite nice. Not too sure which parameter it was in, maybe motion graphics. No, not looking promising, not too sure whereabouts it was. There we go, light stripe, the one I least expected, and I'm going to go and hide all these glows. Except for the first glow, hide, because I don't like these little dots, if you can see them, around at the main focus point. And okay, again, same procedure to screen. And there we go. Make this, put it down somewhere like there, and I'm going to decrease the brightness to about 30, but increase the scale quite a lot. Maybe brightness a little bit more, 15. Like so, and that's looking really nice. Again, it looks a little bit bland. It looks like it's definitely missing something. So we're going to go ahead and add a new adjustment layer. I'm going to make some curves. So just go ahead and type curves in here. It's already typed in. So we'll drag it in on this adjustment layer, and we can maybe just make some contrast here with these. But we'll go down to red, maybe just lower it, and we'll get a kind of blue tint going on. Again, this completely transforms the text on which way you want to swing it, what colors you want to go. You can pretty much change it to any colors you want. That pink is something I'm going for, so a slight twist of pink there. I'll just go through all of them. Obviously you can make some pretty drastic looks here. Finally in alpha, does nothing. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's looking a lot better than it without. Anyway, I'll say that looks a lot more tasteful anyway. Finally, we're going to go ahead and add a solid. I'm going to call this particles. Now, this is the thing that I'm not exactly, this is going to be particular, by the way, trap code particular. This is something that I'm definitely don't know the values for. So you're going to have to bear with me again. The velocity can be up there. We're going to go to physics straight away and just increase the gravity to about 20 maybe, because obviously I want it to come down. So if I move the actual starting point to up here, say, and it's basically they start falling, but obviously they die out, so we need to change the particle or the emittable particles per second, particle life per second, just increase this more or less, like so. And that's looking quite good for the scatter. We just want to improve the scatter because obviously you can edit the particle as you want. Life randomness, you can maybe increase this to make it more random. That doesn't really matter for this still frame. Obviously when it gets the animation, these kind of things will, but the size, obviously I want to increase as well. I want to make this about 10. And decrease the size randomness. I like a lot of randomness. It makes it look a lot more, makes it look like it's got more of a depth of field, and it's more of a 3D scene. It's like the smaller ones are in the background and the close ones are close to the camera. And as well, the opacity, you're going to make this about 60, maybe about 40 in fact, and increase the opacity randomness to 100. Now I'll change it back to 60 because it lowers it a lot more, like so. And if you're making a still frame, you can pick any kind of look as you want. For example, you can just scroll through here before you save the image until you see the perfect kind of look that you see. So lights per second, I'm going to go back to emitter, particles a second to 140, say, maybe 120 will do the trick. Okay, and add this border back up to the top, like so. So it makes it look like, yeah, the border is on top basically, as it does, as it pretty much is. So particle lights per second, particle type sphere, color random, maybe just add like a slight pinky feel to them, so almost seems like they've got a texture overlay. And you can go to color randomness as well, but if you get too high you start to get all the colors of the spectrum, which looks oh so tacky. So finding the right line can be quite hard. 15, there we go, that will do. And there we more or less have it. In all honesty, if you go back to maybe gradient, the cores there, some of the modules may need tweaking. For example, the opacity of this could maybe just be increased to make it a little bit brighter. That looks a lot better. And binding this text main, the solid of this, what's the opacity? If you increase the opacity of this to about 17 instead, as you can see, it makes it look a little bit darker. But anyway, that is the core. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Look forward to the video animation tutorial I will create on this. Post in the comments if you'd like to see that. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, although I've been inactive. However, hopefully I can eradicate that now, especially with everything coming up. The next month I'll be a free man. So that's basically the subject of that. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Maybe not the most advanced, but it looks pretty cool. So just picking up these kind of tips, you hopefully learned at least something. But please remember to like this video if it helped you out. Follow me on Facebook for all future and upcoming tutorials, and Twitter just for every now and then updates. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I've been Connor with Chrome Designs, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.